Minecraft Dungeon 2 looks familiar at first, but after watching the gameplay closely, I noticed something very interesting. This is not just the same Minecraft dungeon with better graphics, there are new artifacts, new combat changes, new gear slot, new mechanics, new enemies, and a lot of small details that make the game feel very different from the first one. So today I'm going to break down all the changes I spotted in the Minecraft Dungeon 2 gameplay, and trust me, some of these changes are actually way bigger than they look. So let's start with what I dislike. The very first thing is the level up notification. Right now the notification and text size look way too large. It practically covers a huge portion of the screen, and it stays visible for 24 seconds. That's kinda long. When you're already busy fighting monsters, having such a large pop-up makes it harder to see what's happening around you. Hopefully this is something they adjust before launch by reducing the size of the notification and making it less intrusive. Another thing I noticed is that the hint or tutorial text appears right in the middle of the screen. That can be a bit distracting, especially during combat. I did love to see an option to disable this hint entirely, or at least move them to a less noticeable location. But before we go further, just keep in mind that this is still based on early gameplay footage and what can be spotted from the gameplay preview, so some item names, stat, effects or mechanic could still change before the full game launches. The first big change I noticed is the overall gameplay movement. In the first Minecraft dungeon, movement was very simple. You run, dodge roll, attack, and use artifacts. But in Minecraft Dungeon 2, jumping is now part of the gameplay, and this alone can change a lot of things. Jumping might sound like a small feature, but for a dungeon crawler, this is actually a pretty big deal. It can make exploration feel more active, and it could also affect combat if jump attacks or vertical movement become important. From the gameplay, the world already looks more alive, and this makes the character feel less locked onto the ground compared to the first game. Now let's talk about the gear system, because this is probably one of the biggest changes. In the first Minecraft dungeon, your build was mostly based around 1 melee weapon, 1 ranged weapon, 1 armor piece, and 3 artifacts. It was simple and easy to understand, but after a while, many builds could feel quite limited. In Minecraft Dungeon 2, the gear system looks much deeper. We still have melee weapon, ranged weapon, and 3 artifact slots. But now there are 4 armor slots and 3 talisman slots as well. This means builds should be more customizable than before. The 4 armor slots are a massive change. Instead of only wearing 1 armor piece that controls your entire defensive setup, we might now be able to mix different armor pieces together. That could mean more ways to build tanky, faster, stronger, or maybe even support-based character. But the new talisman system might be even more interesting. Talisman seems to work more like passive bonuses, while artifacts are still active skills that you press during combat. From the gameplay footage shown so far, we have already seen at least 2 talismans in action, and they give us a better idea of this system might work. The first one is Bone of Tastiness, a talisman that summons a wolf companion to fight alongside the hero. According to the early information available, if the wolf is defeated, it will respawn after a 30-second cooldown. This is actually very interesting because in the first Minecraft dungeon, companion summons were usually tied to artifacts like Tasty Bone, Wonderful Wheat, or Golem Kid. So if the pets and summons are now moving into talisman slot, that could be a huge buff to summoner builds. Instead of using one of your 3 artifact slots just to summon a companion, you could potentially keep a pet active through a talisman while still using all 3 artifact slots for damage, defense, healing, or utility. The second talisman shown is Sigil of Beeswax. At the moment, its exact effect hasn't been clearly revealed in the gameplay footage, so we can only speculate about what it does. Hopefully, we will learn more about it as Mojang shares additional gameplay detail in the future. Now let's move into the artifacts. From the gameplay footage, I spotted quite a few artifacts, including several returning favorites from the original Minecraft dungeon. Some of these appear to have been reworked. For example, Corruptus' original and tanker up to 8 enemies, locking them in place for a few seconds while dealing poison damage over time. In Minecraft Dungeon 2, However, it seems to function differently. When activated, tendrils spread across a small area and poison nearby enemies, but from what I could see, it no longer appears to immobilize them. Other returning artifacts include Flaming Quiver, Totem of Shooting, Corrupted Beacons, Death Cap Mushroom, Power Shaker, and Firework Arrow. All of these seems to still be present in the game, although some may have received changes or adjustments. These are simply the one I was able to identify from the gameplay footage, and there could be many more that haven't been shown yet. On top of that, the gameplay also revealed a large number of brand new artifacts. First, we have Turtle Master Mandolin, which provides a defensive boost to nearby allies for a short duration. Then there is Honey Dipper, an artifact that drops honey and summons 3 bees to assist you in battle. Blight Bangle applies a status effect to the hero that causes their weapons to inflict poison damage. Venomous Quiver enhances arrows with poison damage, making ranged attacks much more dangerous. Electric Bangles grant a status effect that causes the hero weapons to deal electric damage. Warrior's Drum empower the hero attacks, increasing their damage output for 4 seconds after activation. Pulse of Thunder unleashes an explosive burst of lightning, damaging enemies in the area. Creeper Candle places an explosive candle on the ground that detonates shortly afterward. And finally, Redstone Mine Launcher deploys redstone mines that explode after a short delay, creating a dangerous trap for enemies. These are just some of the new artifacts I noticed from the footage, and there are likely many more artifacts and talismans still waiting to be discovered. Another thing I noticed is how the combat looks much more explosive and dynamic. There are more visual effects, smoother gameplay, larger enemy groups, and even a new type of enemies that appears to be affected by souls. These enemies look significantly stronger and more challenging to fight. On top of that, the abilities themselves seem more powerful and visually impressive. The screen feels more active and exciting, while still remaining easy to follow. It still has that classic Minecraft dungeon style, but everything feels bigger, smoother, and more refined. The enemies also look more dangerous this time. One of the biggest enemies shown is the Twisted Warden, which looks like a much larger and more powerful version of the Warden. And honestly, this is a perfect boss choice for Minecraft Dungeon 2, because the Warden is already one of the scariest mobs in normal Minecraft. So if Twisted Warden is only one of the bosses, I am really curious what other bosses they are hiding. Another feature I really like is the new pop-up inventory system. Being able to swap equipment, artifacts, and talisman without fully pausing the game is a huge quality of life improvement, especially in co-op. Instead of forcing everyone to wait while one player manages their inventory, you can make changes on the fly and keep the action moving. This is one of the changes I'm most excited about, because Minecraft Dungeon 1 was fun, but the build system was sometimes too simple. Minecraft Dungeon 2 looks like it's trying to keep the game easy to play, while adding more depth for players who want to min-max their character, and that is exactly what the sequel needs. Another small but important thing is co-op. Minecraft Dungeons was always fun with friends, and Minecraft Dungeon 2 is clearly still built around that idea. With more gear slots, passive talisman, and active artifact, co-op builds could become more interesting. Maybe one player focuses on tanking, another focuses on damage, another focuses on summons, and another focuses on supporting or healing. If the game actually supports this kind of build variety, then Minecraft Dungeon 2 could have way more replay value than the first game. So overall, these are the biggest changes I spotted so far. We have a more connected world, better movement with jumping, deeper gear customization, 4 armor slots, 3 talisman slots, returning artifact slots, new artifact style ability, better visuals, bigger enemies, and more build options than before. And the most exciting part is that we still haven't seen everything yet. Right now, Mojang has only shown a small part of Minecraft Dungeon 2, but even from this early gameplay, it already looks like a much bigger sequel than I expected. This is not just Minecraft Dungeon 1 with a new story, this looks like a proper upgrade, especially for players who love loot, builds, artifacts, and experimenting with different playstyle. So now I want to know what you think. Are you excited for Minecraft Dungeon 2? And which change are you most interested in? The new armor slots, the talisman, the new artifacts, all the connected world. Let me know in the comments, and if you want more Minecraft Dungeon 2 updates, make sure to like and subscribe because I will be covering more gameplay details, new weapons, new armor, artifacts, talisman, bosses, and everything else as soon as more information comes out.